Could Cedar Point secretly be working on their next expansion that is twice the size of the Gemini plot of land? What if Tony Clark and company are keeping us distracted with the top Thrill Dragster situation? I predict that Cedar Point is about to make some major moves that free up a massive plot of land for their next roller coaster once the reimagined Top Thrill Dragster opens. And this plot of land can fit pretty much any type of coaster. Now get ready, because you're about to find out why this would be a very logical move for the park and when construction will start, to go along with my speculation for what type of roller coaster and when could it open. With all of that said, we have a lot to dig into, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. Now, let's get into this. Over the last year or so, rumors have been swirling all around regarding the future of the iconic dragster. These rumors and buzz really amped up when Cedar Point made the announcement that they plan on reimagining the coaster, and that has left us all wondering. Around the same time, Cedar Point made another intriguing move when they announced that the Matterhorn and the Scrambler attraction would be getting relocated to the new boardwalk area that's coming in 2023. And while I get that this area alone is not large enough for a major coaster, I have to speculate, what if Cedar Point would remove these maintenance buildings that run along the backside of Corkscrew? We already know that Cedar Point has moved a lot of its maintenance buildings off the peninsula, and obviously the department needs a few warehouses on park grounds for replacement parts and daily maintenance. But the good news is these buildings could easily get relocated if that was the plan. For example, what about the area that was leveled where the old men's dorms used to be located at? I could see Cedar Point not finding this plot of land accessible due to having to cross over Perimeter Road or rerouting it just so the park can use this plot of land for a new ride or coaster. Now, of course, Cedar Point could always have the roller coaster travel over the road, but again, that might not be something that the park wants to do. And this location would make a lot of sense for a new maintenance building. So hypothetically speaking, if the maintenance buildings were gone, then this small plot of land for expansion just got much larger. But guess what? I'm not done yet, because the building highlighted in yellow is Cedar Fair's corporate Sandusky office. Now, I don't think the company would relocate everyone to their much larger office here in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina, but with all the land that Cedar Point purchased that is off the peninsula, does it really make sense for the corporate office to be located in the middle of the park? If Cedar Point would remove this building, then you're looking at an even larger area where they can easily build a pretty large-scale roller coaster. Now, with what I'm about to say next, most of you probably won't believe me, and that's fine. But according to my sources, I think this area could still get a lot larger and rather quickly. That is because, located just 90 feet away from Top Thrill Dragster is a roller coaster that opened in 1976 and is about to get removed. Now, for those of you who do not want to hear that, I totally get it. Corkscrew is a classic attraction. However, with that said, I've heard from multiple sources that the plan is to remove this 3-inversion aero coaster in the next year or two. Now, that small area where the Matterhorn and Scrambler was located just turned into a massive plot of land, with only removing one roller coaster from the park. Now, before I share with you which type of roller coaster that I think Cedar Point could consider for this massive plot of land, I wanted to share with you 3 reasons why this plot of land is a very smart move for Cedar Point. Number 1, Cedar Point is literally landlocked. I mean, seriously, it's because Lake Erie is located all around it practically. But being landlocked has never been an excuse for Cedar Point in the past, and honestly, I don't think it ever will be. By relocating the maintenance buildings, the Sandusky Cedar Fair office, and Corkscrew allows Cedar Point to plan for their largest expansion in decades. The park can do so many different things here. For example, a new midway with new flat rides and potentially a new roller coaster. Seriously, the possibilities are endless, and they would only lose one coaster that offers a low ridership and is already near the end of its life cycle. Number 2, by doing this, would allow Cedar Point to fix the bottleneck pathway that runs under Corkscrew. this area is always congested, and by moving forward with this expansion plan, the park could really benefit from this. Number 3, if this area is used for a new roller coaster, then the entrance plaza for the attraction could be located in the same location as Corkscrews was, or be located more south where the Scrambler or Matterhorn was located. By allowing the entrance to be located here, this would then relieve congestion along the Dragster Midway of people wanting to ride the Stratocoaster and this new coaster. And if you are curious as to why I think Dragster will not only be staying but getting a lot longer, then you have to check out some of my Dragster speculation videos. Cedar Point has always been very top-notch when it comes to placement of their major coasters, and in my opinion, they are the best at this. So here is what I'm thinking. Cedar Point will debut the new reimagined Top Thrill Dragster as their next attraction. Corkscrew will also give its last ride sometime in 2023, with an outside chance of this happening in 2024. Cedar Fair will also relocate the corporate office to another location nearby in early 2024. And finally, we will see a new smaller maintenance building constructed on park property. Now, if Dragster is set to open in 2023, and for the record, I think there's around a 30% chance of that actually happening, then this new coaster could open in 2024, but most likely 2025. If Dragster is scheduled to open in 2024, then I think the new coaster could open in 2026 with an outside shot of 2025. As for what type of coaster, well, in past videos, I've shared my thoughts centered around 3 different coaster types. But with recent rumblings, I think there is a coaster type out there that needs to be added to the potential new coaster list. I've always said a modern wooden roller coaster, a massive Gerstlauer Infinity, and a Mock Extreme Spinner would make the most sense for Cedar Point as their next coaster. But what if we're looking at a world's first? What if Cedar Point did in fact build the world's first RMC T-Rex? Now, before you say RMC will never build a T-Rex, I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, do you work for RMC since you know this information? And number 2, do you really think that RMC will tease the T-Rex model this much? I mean, the concept is bound to happen since all it is basically a larger version of their single rail coaster. So let's say if Cedar Point does in fact build a new RMC T-Rex, this location would be perfect for one. So perfect, in fact, that I created a mock layout as you can see here for one. Now this coaster would be anywhere from 250 to 325 feet tall and offer multiple inversions, a ton of insane airtime elements, and will be placed easily near the top of everyone's coaster rankings. I know that RMC and Cedar Fair's relationship is rumored to be damaged at the moment, but unless you work for the company, then do we really know the truth? The answer is no, and I really do think that RMC will debut their T-Rex model soon. And given Cedar Point's timetable, I do think it could align with RMC's to make this project happen. Now, a serious question for you. Would an extended Top Thrill Dragster that offers a vertical spike and a swing launch, or even an extended layout, plus a RMC T-Rex that is located right next to it, make you forgive the park for adding so many amazing and delicious restaurants? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what you think about this massive new area along with your predictions. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.